Hello, my lovelies. Just wait to see if anyone jumps on. Oh, lovely day today. Got me fan on. Hope it's not interfering with the sound. Here's little Koshka. Are you, Jockney? Doesn't look like there's anyone else here, only me and you, Jockney. The cat's just come in and he can't he's looking at the fan as if to say, oh, how do I get past that? Come on. Koshka, come on. Koshka. Oh no, he's not having it. He won't come past the fan. It's been hot in Liverpool, yeah, Jockney. But I've been in the house all day doing this floor downstairs because, I say, these are old floorboards and they're not in the best conditions. But I'm going to bleach them, see if that works as well, to try and lighten the colour. But I'm not going to be, I want a stain for them, but I'm thinking to myself, I was seeing something on the television, isn't it all the fashion now to have them looking really old and weathered? So I think it might just be best to have them, bleach them. And even though they will have, which they will have because they're old, and it looks like a couple of parts, something fell on them. Because don't forget, these houses, I have to remember, used to have, well, they still do actually, they have gas in coal fires downstairs. It's a coal. Are you Kelsey? Are you Pop? Is it a old thing, coal fire? And you know what coals are like? They pop out, don't they? And the floorboards must have been bare at the time. And you can tell there's like little burn marks. So I'm thinking that might be all right if I do them weathered and don't try to get them looking perfectly, done. But I actually was watching it on the television, so in adverts, and it actually looked nice the way they had it. It looked like they hadn't done anything. They look clean, but like they're but years old, like they hadn't done anything. And I thought, actually, that's not a bad look because they don't want to varnish. You have to varnish them, don't you? Or you can't bleed and clean the things. But I'm going to be putting a flat matte varnish on because I can't be bothered with scratch marks all over the place, which will happen. They start getting scratched, don't they? So it's going to have to be a matte, flat matte varnish on it. But I'm going to bleach and see how that does. But because I think I said, didn't I, last time, my neighbour, she did hers, sand them down and then varnish them. But they came out a really shitty looking orange, not a nice orange, ugly looking orange colour. They weren't very nice at all. So I'm not doing that. So anyway, how's everyone doing before we get onto the drama? Whatever drama's going on out there. I haven't been noticing much, I say, been too busy. Yeah, and I like coloured wood jockney. And of course the thing is I'm not gonna go out of my way on it too much because there's rugs, there's gonna be and it's not a big massive huge living room. And I've got rugs to go down, so the rugs will be covering most of the floor anyway. But I just don't like. I can't stand laminate flooring. I got it and I didn't like it. I just don't like. I don't like the feel of it. It doesn't look right. Where when you see real, genuine floorboards, you can see the difference straight away. Walking on them's different. The sound they make's different. They look different. You can get convincing looking laminate flooring, but you can always tell it's not real because wood is never natural. wood flooring, especially old wood flooring, is never that straight and it's never that perfect. You'll get, because that's the problem. That's why it's taking so long to sand, because they warp over time. And so when you're going over with the sander, it's hitting the edges that are turning upwards. Then you have to go down the grain, or it goes on forever and ever and ever. Anyway, so has anyone been noticing any drama that I haven't been noticing? It's more or less just the same old, isn't it? But there's nothing really. I think Decker is getting boring now. It's getting to be a god yawn. Not Decker again. Same old cack, isn't it? That's coming out. So, God knows what's going on. Oh, and I think Cindy has got a Rocky Horror Live on at the moment. Has she? But this is I say I'm enjoying this. I know I don't get great figures on my lives. I never have done. I've never been one to get huge figures on my lives. They can be really low at times. But I enjoy doing these quizzes. I like them. And just like chatting here. But you see, you don't get any drama. I don't have. If people start kicking up when they come on to talk, I just get them off straight away. So you won't get the drama here. It's not about that. Are you, Sammy? It's not about that on this channel. I can't stand all that. And this shouting over each other. Oh, I won't have it. I won't have it, because you can't understand what they're saying. There's it's like 4 of them are shouting and talking filthy mouths. No, that's not for me. Oh, don't worry, Stephen. The quiz will be coming up. Don't you worry. Do people want me to get the quiz out the way now? Hey. Yeah, we go for quality above quantity. That's it, right? But that's why I do. Normally, I wouldn't do them if it bothered me getting low figures, but it doesn't. I like doing them. So, and yet there was some drama with a couple of witches. I don't know. I've got a clue who you're talking about, Johnny. Oh, I can't wait until the Halloween. I'll have to do a special Halloween week, won't I? Of ghosty stories, tell you some ghosty stories from when I did that a few years ago. Ghosty stories from when I worked with the police. Oh yes, worked in a haunted station, and a very curious incident where the skeleton was found. That is a total and utter mystery. What happened there? Can people hear me okay? Because when I'm on here, I'll have to get a thing. You know what? Boom for the mic, because I can't get it close enough to me mouth. So yeah, I'll be doing that, getting some nice stuff done for Halloween, and I'm going to be doing some SAMR. I'm going to be doing these sort of things. I've noticed people do these things on YouTube where they do a short, minute-long ASMR, and I thought I can do that. So I'm going to give them a try. See how they go. Because I did a long one once, and because I do like ASMR, that's where you do things for people who don't know. That's where you record something that makes it either gives people tingles with noises, or it relaxes them. But it went down like a bleeding lead balloon, I must say. People weren't that enamored. A couple of people liked it, other people saying, "Oh, that was strange, wasn't it?" They thought it was very odd. So I'm going to try something like that. It's just going to be this it, mix and matches. You just do what you keep on trying until you hit on a golden formula. Because the drama thing, I'll only do that if I'm interested in what's happening, like Decker or someone else out there. But I'm not finding it interesting at the moment. I'm bored with it. It's like, oh God, not Decker again. What the hell? Oh yeah, ASMR is good stuff. That I was thinking of doing one, because people say I can have a relaxing voice at times. So if I read something or when I'm, doing something, see how that works. But I'm going to try the little short ones first. See how they go. Oh, the crunching ones. Do you know what always sends me? And this is since I've been a kid, Kelsey. You know when people whisper. Oh God! If someone's got a whispering voice, that's it. I'm falling asleep straight away. Used to drive me mad. You know when it'd be working, if it was having to work somewhere, and I'd have to be concentrating, and someone would speak like that. Because you get some people, they speak very soft, don't they? And they'd be like, "Oh, please, I'm going to go to sleep if you keep on talking like that." And yet, you know what the funny thing is about this ASMR? If I'm with anyone and they start smacking their lips or making a noise when they're eating, oh, it goes right through me. I can't stand it. It's one of those things that trigger me. Yet when you hear these ASMR channels doing it, somehow it doesn't grate on my nerves. The way they do it seems different. They seem to have found a way to do it that isn't, like, stop doing that. Are you mad, love? Are you, darling? Yeah, so I'm trying to think of one way they do that. There's an American one, can't remember the name, American woman, and she does it. She eats and she makes big. But for some reason, when she does it, it doesn't sound horrible for some reason. I don't know why. I've heard the French Whisperer. Actually, I like him, Sammy. Yeah, I like the French Whisperer. I've actually watched this. He's good when he's reading stuff. I like him. And another thing that sends me, and this is from when I was a child as well. You're going to get shocked by this one. I absolutely adore, even though I can't speak it, the sound of Chinese speaking. I find it a lovely language to listen to. And I think the fact I can't understand it is what makes me enjoy it more. If I could understand what they were saying, I wouldn't enjoy as much. But I love the sound of Chinese. I think when they're just talking, it's the tones and the way it's put across. One that I can't stand because it does grate on my nerves is Arabic. If that's really that, I don't like the sound of that. And what's the other one? Norwegian. The Norse languages can sound a bit yucky because they're weird. It sounds weird to us, doesn't it, Norse? Yeah, Indians can sound really nice. But when I'm talking about Chinese, I'm not talking about Chinese speaking English. I'm talking about Chinese speaking Chinese. I just love the Chinese language and adore it. But Indian can be like that as well. Indian can sound really nice as well. Scandinavian, you like that? It's just things, like Norway and all that. It's a bit of they've got a weird way of saying them. Actually, that sounds strange to us anyway. We must probably sound horrendous to them. You've got someone walking behind you. I hope that you can see them. They're not invisible, are they, Johnny? It's not a ghost out there, is it? You're not in a haunted place, are you? Are you in the Barbican again? What is that? Someone explain to me what that Face Stop Bruce Lee is all about. I can't wait this out. What's he going on about when he goes on about Face Stop Bruce Lee? Come on, Kelsey, you know everything. Explain it. What does this Bruce Lee thing mean that Decca's coming out with all the time? I can't work out what he's going on about. No one knows what he's on about. I know, it just makes it. He's not even in China, is he? Oh, Hong Kong. Bruce Lee wasn't from Hong Kong, was he? I'm sure he wasn't. I'm sure he wasn't from Hong Kong. Let's see. He was fantastic, Bruce Lee, wasn't he? Wonderful. Let's see. Oh, actually, shall I tell you something now that will shock you? He was born in San Francisco. Did you expect that? Didn't know that. San Francisco. And he died in Hong Kong. Well, that's shocking. Didn't know it was San Francisco. Yeah, I just read that. Yeah, San Francisco. I was shocked with that. I like he's do like his films. He was brilliant, Bruce Lee. And do you remember he used to be in a what was it called? With the mask there. Oh, what was it called? Oh, can't remember. It was on television. And he used to wear masks. The two of them. Let's see if I can find it. The Blue Hornet. What? That's it. The Blue Hornet. I think I'm right on it. The Blue Hornet. Wasn't that it? He was in that. Yeah, that's where he made you say. Wasn't his last movie he was in Hong Kong doing it? Just reading the chat of where people would welcome. Yeah, Aki. Do you know, I was watching the thing, I saw the video the other day. Someone saw Paper Blackie on a train talking to a young fella, and they were filming him on the same on the phone. And suddenly at the end, you see Paper Blackie looking over. You just die. You would if he caught if. Though actually, he doesn't go out attacking people. Paper Blackie, he doesn't attack people. He's just into young boys, isn't he, and young men, which people forget. This one knows me when podcasts start drooling, thinking they can get Aki. Oh, we want, and they're drooling at the fact, because whoever gets paid Blackie to do a podcast is going to get they're going to get the views. But they forget what he's known for. And when they're giggling and laughing about his antics, they forget what he's known for. I had to pull a couple of them and said, "Do you want to remember what you call what paid Blackie is?" And they go quiet, then silent. Oh, the Green Hornet. What did I say? What did I say? Something else? Yeah, the Green Hornet. I said blue, didn't I? Yeah, the Green Hornet. That was it. Was good. That wasn't it? The Green Hornet. Tell you what, though, he was a sexy little fella. Was Bruce Lee? He was. That body on him was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant body. Yeah, that fella on the train with people. I thought I would just, if that'd been me filming him, I would have just died if he'd suddenly looked over, because he's a people who most everyone knows who Pep Blackie is, don't they? He's a very big, imposing looking man, very big. But you hear people, everyone seems to have met him, don't they? When I met him, it's like, oh, you bleeding lie, you can't all have met him, because the fella's like the Scarlet Pimpernel, no one ever knows where he is. We seek him here, we seek him there. Oh yeah, Brandon Lee. The Crow. One of my friends told us was obsessed with that film, The Crow. She'd watch it again and again and again, The Crow. She was obsessed with it. Here we are. Imagine being on a train, Decker at one side of the carriage and Aki on the other. This it though. It's the way they talk about it, right? Oh, and they talk excited. Just like this is what I have to remind people when people get it, when hear podcasts, it's all today thinking it's the clicks. What you call a man, a fully grown man that goes up to young men and they can be 14, 15, and starts touching up the muscles and starts getting a sexual reaction when doing that. What do you call that? And yet they're all drooling over the idea of being able to interview. And I don't know how he became this legend. I think what it was, the BBC a few years ago, well, quite a few years ago, did a documentary about him, and they made out that he was some kind of legend. Until that happened, I can't remember. It made out that somehow on Merseyside there were whispers about this character, the bogeyman called Per Blackie. No, there wasn't until the BBC documentary. Basically, no one knew who the hell he was. Only people in the area where he hung out. But yeah, he wasn't. The BBC documentary made him the mystery people think he is. But at the time, before that, he wasn't considered any great mystery. No one knew who the hell he was. So that's the power of television. People, they can create mysteries with, and it was one. Now, shall get down to the we get down to the quizzy. Here we are, let's see. Ask a couple of music ones first. You should get this, Johnny. You should get this. Here we are. Guess which lyrics, which song these lyrics from? Here we are. Living easy, living free, season ticket on a one-way ride. So which song is that from? Living easy, living free, season ticket on a one-way ride. Here we are. Ticket to ride. Ticket to ride, you said. I'm thinking of the wrong one. Close to it. You'd be shocked. Here we are. Do you want me to give it to you? Oh, God, what? Ow. Here, I'll give it to you. It's actually AC/DC's Highway to Hell. AC/DC's Highway to Hell. Now, which is this one from? I bet loads you get it out there. I'm in California dreaming about who we used to be when we were younger and free. I've forgotten how it felt before the world fell at our feet. I'm in California dreaming about who we used to be when we were younger and free. I've forgotten how it felt before the world fell at our feet. No, not Yellow Submarine. You got Pop got Highway to Hell, AC/DC. Now you could be forgiven thinking it was the Beach Boys or it was the Mamas and the Papas, but it's not. Oh, California Dream. That is a beautiful song, the Mamas and the Papas, but it's not actually that. I would have thought everyone would get this because she's very popular. Very popular. Give me a couple of minutes more because I'm sure you must know because she's very popular. Though I'm not a fan of hers, but I'm not so where people like her. Not happy. Not Madonna. Yeah, shall I give you that? It was Adele. Hello. Adele. Hello. Now let's get some. Yeah, movie. See some movies or TV. Here we are. This is a good one. What is the name of the possessed girl played by Linda Blair in The Exorcist? What is the name of the possessed girl played by Linda Blair in The Exorcist? That's right, Police itself. Regan McNeil. Yep, mad. Regan McNeil. Or Reagan, whatever you like to pronounce it. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Anyway, which, and I love this film, I adore this film. Which influential and controversial 1970s thriller starring Clint Eastwood featured a serial killer called Scorpio? Which influential and controversial 1970s thriller starring Clint Eastwood featured a serial killer called Scorpio? Fantastic film. Definitely on one of the top 10. That's it, Pablito. Dirty Harry, absolutely. Never get tired of watching that film. And the performance by the fellow who acted to save Scorpio. So well done, wasn't it? Really well done. Yeah, Dirty Harry. That was the name of his Game Shadow. Isn't it brilliant? Definitely never get bored of that. It's like the Rosemary's Baby. That's another one I never get. I never get bored of. Rosemary's Baby. Now that's one that makes you relax when you're watching it. The way it's filmed. It's also preempted in my way, in a different way, but it preempted The Shining, didn't it? Rosemary's Baby, the way it sort of like made you feel totally relaxed. Anyway, and I'm off. Us Scousers, we've got to stick together. Go to checking our kid Flavors. He's just come out of Leah Aussie being. Oh, wait, something like that, didn't he? Yeah, I loved him. See, they always said that it was really Rosemary's Baby, I think. I don't know, I might be wrong, but it more or less changed the format of it. And that was another one that was done like a comedy in parts because Roman Polanski thought it was the most stupid, even though when he was being interviewed, when he was filming it, he didn't say this. But behind the scenes, people said he thought it was the most stupid story he'd ever heard. He said, "How the hell can people believe in witches?" He thought it was the most ridiculous thing, people believing in witches in this day and age. So he went at it. He couldn't take it seriously, and it does have a strong comic element in it. It reminds me of Brad Frankenstein. That was another one. that people called a horror, but actually wasn't. It was what we call now a dark comedy, and that's what I think Rosemary's Baby was going for. But that was the one that started the brightness. Do you remember? Because in The Exorcist, they said that about The Exorcist. It's dealing with a horrific subject, but everything's bright and everything's normal and everything's colourful. We'd expect it to be all dark. It used to be all dark in horror movies, but it was actually Rosemary's Baby that was the first one to do that, as far as I remember. To have it all bright and yellow. They played with yellow lovely in that film. They used the colour yellow to great effect. Oh, I think I've seen that to The Devil Adores Us, but I can't remember it. Never made a great impression on me. Right, back to the questions. I've had me little one about that. Now let's see what else. History. Here we are. You love your history, you know you do. Who was Prime Minister when Britain joined the European Union? Who was Prime Minister when Britain joined the European Union? And I'm old enough to remember this. I was very young, like, but I can remember it. That tells you how bleak now, don't you? So, who was the Prime Minister when we joined the European Union? Oh, see you, Aki. You didn't know you were going. Thank you, Aki. Thank you for joining in. See, did someone got it? Oh, yeah, Chad of the Raven, Heath, yeah. He got it, Edward Heath. Edward Heath, he was a strange thing. He was sort of like Boris Johnson, but he had some brains. Yeah, at least he wasn't he didn't go on like Boris Johnson. Boo politics. Here we are. Here's another one. Here we are. What was the nationality of the dancer Mata Hari, who was shot as a spy? What was the nationality of the dancer Mata Hari, who was shot as a spy? No, he didn't have the big. Oh God, what was his name? I know who you're thinking of. He didn't have the big bushy eyebrows. People are getting close. You're close, Stephen. Very close. Stephen's more in the right region. Mata Hari, the seductress. You're not Finland. Well, I'll give you the. She was Dutch. She was Dutch. Science. Now I know you're all love your science. Well, oh, you'll like this one. An absence of the SRY gene means what for a human being? An absence of the SRY gene means what for a human being? So if you don't have the SRY gene, what happens to you as a human being? SRY gene. What does it mean if you don't have it? What kind of person would you be, or human being would you be? Come on, Sammy, you should be able to get this. Not albino, no. Not albino. Shall I give you a clue? If the ladies in there had it, you'd be, oh, I'll tell you. It means the human is a she. So if you don't have that, you come out a girl, a lady creature person thing. There you are, you come out a lady if you don't have it. Let's see. Excuse me. Just looking for a good one. Here we are. Who is best known for his theory on black holes? Who is best known for his theory on black holes? And he came out with a theory that they all scoffed at, but actually came out as true. Who found out? Oh yeah, Sammy, you got it. I've just said albino. A tight Scotsman. So, yeah, who's famous for his theory on black holes? What he said at the time caused a lot of scoffing and shocked at that he came out with it, not Einstein. Maybe about Stephen Hawkins. What it was, he said that because the idea was it's always been the black holes, nothing can ever escape a black hole. He said it can. He said radiation can escape a black hole. And over time, he said, given enough time, which would take a hell of a long, long time, they'll actually disappear because the radiation keeps on leaking out. So, and they belch. We know now they belch. They found these huge plumes of radiation shooting out in space where a black hole suddenly decides it's going to have a baby. So, yeah, he caused quite a stir when he first said that. He said no, and they found out now it does happen. And so, given it, oh God, eons and eons and eons, a black hole will eventually disappear if it doesn't feed on anything. Right, couple more. What's this here? Just find some good. We've done music. Here we are, sports. We haven't done sports, have we? Here we are. Who scored both goals in the final as Manchester United lifted Alex Ferguson's first European trophy in 1991? Who scored both goals in the final as Manchester United lifted Alex Ferguson's first European trophy in 1991? Not George Best, not Beckham, not. It's one I think people have forgotten about now. I remember him. Do you want me to tell you? 1991, don't you? Not Eric Cantona. Here, I'll give it. It was Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes. That's the one. He did us. You know, I'm going to just put my heater off because that's cooled down. It hasn't. It's still hot out there. What time now? Now I'm gonna put the link out there if anyone fancies coming up for a quick chat or wants to say something or whatever. If not, I'll just ramble on here for a while. I just ramble on here. Oh, I got my yawning. I'm not tired. Sparky. So let me catch up on the chat because I've been watching. Here's Koshka. Hello, Koshka. I've just switched the fan off. He shouldn't come in now. He always waked out. If he goes under the table, he can avoid. He doesn't like. He does not like. Oh, are you, Jockney? He does not. Let me put my headphones on before I forget. Oh, no. Are you, Jockney?
Good evening. How are you, Anne?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, very hot today, Anne, up here, London. Oh, it's red hot.
It is here as well. It's
nice, isn't it? But nice weather.
It's nice, but we're never happy in this country, are we, Jockney? That's it. It's either too hot or too cold.
True enough, isn't it? True enough.
It's because, as I say, you can't get used to any one weather system in the UK because it never lasts long enough. So you can't get used to it being cold. You can't adapt because it doesn't last long enough. You can't get used to the heat because it doesn't last long enough. So literally, you're continually trying to catch up with the weather and you can't. But I'd rather have it. I've always said this. I like it when it's summer. But if it was a choice between boil and hot and freezing cold, I'd rather have freezing cold because at least when it's cold, you can cover up. When it's hot, boiling like that, you just suffer all the time, don't you?
Yeah. You've got a garden, haven't you, Anne? You've got a garden?
Yeah. At the moment.
Is your garden south facing? I mean, which way is it facing? You know what I mean?
It's sun facing, but it's got trees, especially behind mine. Right behind mine, there's a big line of trees, big huge trees.
You get the sun in the evening. You know what I mean is the sun. Do you get it all afternoon and into the early?
In the back all day. All day we get in the back. I mean, the back is where we get the sun. The front. The only problem is the front of the houses. It's in shade. It's so you have to put your light on if you're in the living room. But I
know what you mean. Yeah, my last flat. I moved into a new one last year, but my old flat, like that, was facing sort of facing south. So you only get the sun for a couple of hours, you know, in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Dark. But this other gaff I'm in, I'm facing west, so I'm looking at West London towards like Oxford Street and all that sort of way. So I get the sun right till sundown. You know what I mean? Like, so I get it all afternoon, right evening. So it's quite it's good. I've got a balcony as well, but it's at the minute, I've got my balcony door, everything open, and it's 27 degrees, which is, quite hot, isn't it?
I think what it is because London's it's a concrete jungle, isn't it? Everything's concrete. And that's going to bounce the heat back up. Plus, also, there's so much going on there. I mean, I'm fortunate because, but in a way, I am. I live right on the suburb of Liverpool. You cross over the road from me, you're not even in Liverpool anymore. But the problem with it is I'm also on one of the busiest roads in Merseyside. So I'm used to it. But the back, if you're into sun worship, we get all the sun right in the back. But the trees, they are the same because those trees weren't there. It would just be too much, especially in the kitchen. Because the sun coming right through the window.
That's it. Have you got double glazing, like, the main road? Have you got that double glazing?
It's rubbish.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's that posh stuff as well. You know, because it used to be. I think it still is, though. I don't know why. It's a conservation area, so you can't do what
Oh,
you want to the houses. Everything has to be.
oh,
So
I know what you mean, yeah, I know
the
what you mean.
windows have to be Georgian. The original workings were Georgian, not the little squares.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to get them, and these are and had to be individual squares. You know where you see these double glazing where it's just one piece of grass with strips put across it, and that
Yeah,
makes it look like Georgian windows. These are actually individual little units, and
yeah,
it's but noise wise, I tell you now, Johnny, I've never
yeah,
noticed the difference. I can remember when they were the original Georgian windows, wooden Georgian windows, and it, I've noticed the difference with it's not as cold with them. But definitely, I used to say, where's this supposed to be keeping out the noise, the crap? I don't, but it doesn't bother me, the noise of the traffic. I'm not
yeah,
used to it now. Actually, if everything's dead quiet, that's really strange to me because everywhere
yeah,
I've been
yeah.
anyway, it's always been noisy.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've always had noise. It's like when I used to go, when I was a kid, used to go to when my mama was born in County Wicklow, and there
Yeah.
it was all mountains, and when it would go quiet at night, oh, it was weird. It was
Yeah.
so, and the lights as well, it was so dark there. And it used to be really strange that to me because I was used to hearing traffic at all hours at night. I don't notice the traffic you don't when you live, when you won't, will you? I bet you hear traffic and you don't even notice it now.
That's it. You get used to it. You remember that? What do you call it? I went to because you just mentioned County Wicklow in Ireland. I went to see the guy Michael Flaherty, Lord of the Dance and all that.
Yeah, yeah,
He done a show, like he wrote a show. He wasn't in it really. It was his show, but he wrote the music. Another this was another one, like the same sort of stuff. And I went to this thing, like I took my little girlfriend at the time to it up the West End, paid
yeah,
a few quid for tickets. Actually, the show was brilliant. The dancers doing all that sort of Irish dancing type of
yeah.
stuff. And
Oh, it,
right at the end of the show, and they done this thing. I don't know if you ever get a chance to see this thing, you will be amazed with it. I was skeptical, like this thing they call it a hologram or something.
oh,
So
yeah, 3D, yeah.
yeah, they done this thing. So all of a sudden, he's on stage. Right, this was at the end, the curtain call sort of thing,
Mm,
and it's a little talk. And I was looking at it, and I was going, "That guy is on that stage."
yeah,
It's like it's 3D, so it don't look like a film, or a TV or a screen.
yeah.
It's like the guy's there.
Well, well, the thing is, Johnny, I don't like them and I don't agree with them because ABBA did this, and everyone's going, no ABBA voyage. And I think that's absolutely disgusting because they're too lazy, too privileged to be able to get off their asses and get on the stage and give a concert. And this is it. They go, and this is the future. Why should people have to pay a premium price to see what is a hologram especially when the performers are still alive? No way,
Yeah,
no way. I don't think it should be, or it should be much
yeah,
cheaper. But yeah, ABBA, everyone's going on. Oh, ABBA, I just said, oh, sod off. I wouldn't pay to go and see that when the lazy gits can't be asked doing it live.
yeah.
This is the thing, it's Kate
Yeah,
Bush.
but the thing with this one, and this was like when the show had actually finished and they were doing
Yeah,
the cutting up, like, and we were all still clapping and that, and it was
yeah,
just a little bit where he talks about, I don't know what it was to do with that show or his next one, like, and he went, thanks for coming and all that. So it
yeah,
wasn't really part of the show.
yeah,
He wasn't in it. But I think the good thing about the hologram things is that I did hear about the one about, like Elvis Presley.
yeah,
Sometimes they do one with him because he's dead, isn't he? So he's not here. But apparently his fans, when they go to see him with a live group, so they're all playing live, but
yeah.
he's the hologram. So it's no like they're all watching a film. There's actually guys playing the instruments, but the hologram is him on stage.
Yeah, If they're dead, I can understand it because they did it with Michael Jackson, didn't they, as well? If the person's dead, yeah, you can understand it. But it's like when another one I love her. I think at anyway, not now. She went absolutely awful. But her music. But Kate Bush to me was one of the most important figures in modern music in the 70s and 80s. But I remember when she got that award. She got an award for being, most outstanding entertainer or something like that, or long saves. And I said she shouldn't have got that. I would said she should never have got it. She was one lazy cow. She did one concert in the 70s, right? Then you never saw her until decades later. She must have needed the money when she decided to do a load of old bleeding tats, the boring crap that she comes out with now. And it was like, wait a minute. She shouldn't be getting all these accolades. Who should be getting the accolades are the look at someone like Status Quo. They love touring. They were always touring. You get others to go out and tour. The big ones like Michael Jackson, all that. Now they used to actually, they'd be exhausted at the end of tours, but they do them, and they'd never think of saying. Now, can you imagine Madonna sending out a hologram of herself? I doubt very much she'd ever have thought of doing it. And this is it. They're the ones that should get it, the ones that get out and keep on doing it, because that's for the fans. But she should never have got that. And I do love Kate. Well, I love Kate Bush's early stuff, but I don't like the modern stuff. It's gone really boring.
She's a bit of a. Do you don't think she thought of herself as a bit of a diva? You know, is that maybe she thought I don't need to go and do tours and all that?
I think what it was, she was into the music. She loved the process of creating music, but she didn't want it because when she was first performing, she was very much, it was showy and very much dancing and all that. I think what it was, she just loved the create music, but she didn't like the idea of actually going out and performing it live. So I think that was what it was with. Because remember Visage, when Visage first came out, they weren't a touring group. They never intended to ever tour, but then they started touring, and it was a big disappointment when they did.
Yeah.
But
talking about that touring thing, I watched on the Sky Arts channel. This group, I've heard of them and all that, but this one AC/DC, the Australian group,
like AC/DC.
And it was like how they started out and all that, coming from Scotland to immigrate to Australia, the family and all that. And I tell you, it's a crack. If you ever get a chance to see it, it comes on like Sky Arts program. You get all different documentaries. But that one about AC/DC, I never even knew that they were really like Scottish. The guys were all born there in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Like they were young and all that.
Scotland have produced some brilliant groups, especially in the that 70s era. There was lots. What was that one? Parsifears 2. What was that? What were they called? The Parsifears 2. They were good. They were good with the one song. Then it's also went to be after that Parsifears 2. Oh, what were they called? Let's see. I'll find out now. John, Parsifears 2. And the fella who
there's a group called Nazareth, were a big group from Scotland back in the days. Nazareth, they were called.
Oh, the Associates was Parsifears 2. Now they looked really promising, Associates. They were the Shadows got the Associates, but it was too. The lead singer was too. Had too many problems, and he ended up dying of an overdose, didn't he?
What?
So it's been some really good ones from Scotland, definitely.
You remember a guy called Alex Harvey?
Yeah.
Alex.
But Scotland, this is the amazing thing. When you look at the history of ballet, the romantic ballets, that was the start before classical. Giselle and all that, they're romantic ballets. But Scotland was always looked on. You'll see these old romantic ballets. They always either are about Scotland or they actually have a piece in them, like Campania, with a Scottish dance in it. And they seem to be obsessed with Scottish dancing. That was because back in those days, Scotland was considered in Europe to the Europeans such a mysterious, out of the way place in the Highlands with witches and fairies and spirits. It was considered really exotic. When you think of it now, that was the view. So a lot of the ballets that you see around that time always were centered around Scotland because they thought it was such a magical, mysterious place.
Talking about ballet, right? Funny enough, it just reminded me, you know, the Highland dancing. A lot of the Highland dancers, some of the dances, they actually wear ballet shoes.
You know, then, Jockey, what did you say?
You know, like you know how you said about the ballet. I said I noticed that some of the Highland, you know, like Highland dancing, Highland, you know that the people that do it, the guys and the women, they wear ballet shoes for some of the dances.
Well, you know, what it is, I was saying this to Humble Dryer months ago when he was talking, because one of his daughters does Scottish dancing, and definitely they've been inspired somewhere down the line by ballet in a rudimentary way, because when they're doing certain jumps and the way they're positioning the feet, there's no way that they came up with that by accident. That must have been inspired by ballet in some way with the turn out, because you can see the way they do it. But the only thing about it is, if they wanted to evolve, which they want to, they could take that further, and they've got to master the plie, the bend of the legs, which sounds so easy, but actually it takes years to learn properly so that they can lift right off the ground and go much higher than what they normally do. But yeah, there's definitely but again, I say, if you go to see something like Le Sylphide, which is based in Scotland, or you go to see, as I say, compared, and you see the Scottish dancing in that, well, it's ballet basically, in a kilt, but it's ballet. That's what it is. It's the Scottish dancing is like non-existent in it. But yet they wear the same shoes that the men wear, the ballet slippers, as they're called.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jockey, I'm going to start winding it down now. So, anything last thing you want to talk about?
To me?
Yeah.
No, nothing really. No.
What have you got planned for the weekend anyway?
Me, because of the weather and all that, I think I'm just going to do it. I'll be going out, but I've not got nothing actually planned to go anywhere particular. So I just sort of take it easy this weekend, especially with this heat, you know. I think we might get some thunderstorms and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, I hope so.
You know, like the weather, like it'll break. You know, I've got a feeling quite good, like with that sort of thing. But I think we might get a bit of, you know, the old, rain and that.
Yeah. Are you still? Do you go to the theatre down there? It's very expensive, though, isn't it, in London? Very expensive.
Well, I don't go so much at the minute because I'm sort of unattached. But usually when I'm linking up, you know, when I've got a lady friend, I usually like to go. I take them to, like, you know, musicals and all that, because theatre's brilliant. You know, like musical theatre. I can go to any musical, but I don't really do a lot of straight plays. You know, like the straight plays that are dramas. It's not really my cup of tea. I like the musicals, you know, or then dancing, singing.
Yeah, it depends. But there's some plays I've seen have been amazing. You know, straightforward plays. So some are good. I should say it depends what it is. But it's always so expensive. You say, I think I was saying a while ago, but you have to roll ballet and then put on a performance. And you're talking about, for a decent seat, over 200 quid, like 250 quid for a decent seat. But you can go to Birmingham and see the Birmingham Royal Ballet, which is just as good as the Royal. And they put on identical productions, and you get it for like quarter of the price. Absolutely brilliant. Do you know what? So,
sorry, I'm just laughing at something when you were talking about, you know, the prices and all that. Because I used to do, I know a little boy, you know, when you go to the theatre, I buy the expensive tickets, obviously, you know, Scotsman and all that. But what you do, you buy you get your tickets, right, and then when the show starts, after about, I don't know, they don't let people in because when they turn up late, you know,
Yeah.
they don't let them in. So sometime when you have the first intermission, you know, like if there's like a little break during the musical or whatever, you can see all these seats that people haven't turned up or they're empty. Good ones. You just manoeuvre to them.
And get in there. No, but when they turn up, you go, "Oh, sorry, you didn't realise I must have made a mistake." Yeah, saying that. Do you know what? They'll never try that. You know the Chinese state circus, and I can say to anyone, if you ever get a chance to see the Chinese state circus, go.
Yeah.
They are absolutely breathtaking. Don't think of what we call the circus. It's nothing like what we call the circus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, these are acrobats, Jockney,
Oh,
beyond belief. They just have your jaw falling. They're amazing, the Chinese state circus. But if you try to move forward on your seat, because they do it like a circus in a circle, but as they don't expect what we call a circus. Anyway, if you try to move your seat to a more expensive one, oh, they'll be right there. No, move back, even though it's empty. They won't let you take it. But definitely, if you see them coming along, Jockney. I mean, I went to see them, and I tell you now, my jaw just hit the ground. It was continuing like, my God, that's physically impossible. The things they do, it's just beyond belief. Me, of course, you're talking about the communists in China and very strict training. It's just beyond belief. It is. But anyway, what I'll do, I'll start. What's this called? Said Shadow and usually only does now. Where's Shadow? Where is Shadow? Oh, Shadow. Yeah. I don't go on for ages. Shadow, because I think an hour and a half is good enough. Sometimes it goes on longer, and but no one likes. Only Joffrey likes talking to me. No one bleeding likes talking to me. I'm telling you, they don't. I'll have to start this. If anyone knows any dates on anyone up there, let me know so I can say to them. If you don't come on my show and talk to me, I'm going to put out the dates on you. That's what I'll have to do in future. But Jim Smith, you came late to the party again, didn't you? Didn't you, Jim? You came to the party late again. You'll have to. You've been in Video Craigs, haven't you? Haven't you? You traitor! You've been in Video Craigs. You traitor! Yes, I know you have. So anyway, Jockney, thank you for calling on again, and I'll have to call into yours sometime.
It's a pleasure and enjoy coming on. Especially, I love the quizzes as well. It's really fantastic.
Yeah. That's why I do them. I love them. I don't care if I don't get the views. I love doing them. So carry on doing them.
Have a good evening, and I'll catch you later. Yeah, thanks a lot there.
Definitely. Take care now, Jockney, and take care everyone in the chat. And Kelsey, thank you for being a wonderful moderator again. So bye everyone. Thank you for tuning in.